Oh, we're now live. Yay, tech didn't fail us.
Right, Instagram's working.
Are you on?
Not quite. I
All
don't
right.
know. Live video is starting. Oh,
We are now live.
Great. Hello.
First of all, thank you to the tech gods for letting us both get on here today.
It was quite simple, really.
Yeah, it was just me panicking. I'm Rachel from Zendevers.
Hi, I'm Sayeeda from Sayeeda Yoga.
And we're going to chat a bit about what we do today. And also we have an upcoming day retreat in June, and we would love to share a bit more information on that. So Sayeeda, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi. So my name's Sayeeda. I'm sure most of you know that. Some of you might not. So I run Sayeeda Yoga. And I think really at heart I'm a student first of the practice. And what I learn, if things excite me or if they help support me, then I'll carry that through into my teaching. I've also been spending the last couple of years learning about Ayurveda. It's helped me massively through chronic illness, and I now offer Ayurvedic lifestyle advice consultations, which is nice and fun.
Yeah, I think we're going to touch on that a bit later, but the Ayurveda it's quite exciting, isn't it?
It is,
it's a bit of a new world.
Yeah.
So,
well, an old world, really.
One of the oldest worlds.
One of the oldest worlds that is now, being brought back, which is great. So
yeah, 100%.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am. So I am a holistic health and wellness practitioner, and I facilitate sound baths, functional breath training, breath work, yoga, and cold water immersion, and an array of modalities that will just help us connect back into the nature of ourselves. And they are all things that I found that were able to completely transform your favourite word. They were able to transform my way of thinking, and therefore I was able to bring them into my life and, just feel a million times better, really.
So let's touch upon that then. Let's just talk about what yoga is to you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, nice. So yoga for me is a way to get into the body. I started, actually, a good friend of mine, Nadia, introduced me to yoga, and she was really graceful and bendy, and I was this short, stumpy, very inflexible thing. But it was so amazing to be able to move and just be present with myself. I was doing a lot of weight training. I was in the fitness industry. Everything was go, 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 hard, hard, hard. And yoga actually made you stop and be still. And that was the biggest challenge that I had ever faced, because I couldn't stop and be still. And so it was a way to just feel into what I was feeling, into what my body was asking of me. And it became my friend through, turbulent times, a lot of grief, a lot of good times. I would just end up, everything was either let's celebrate and go to a yoga class, or let's go to a yoga class and just have a cry. So, what about you?
I think for me, probably actually, yoga has really set me on a path of healing. I had quite a difficult childhood. I spent a lot of my years, wrapped up in addiction, struggling with my mental health considerably. And yoga was the first thing that allowed me to feel a sense of comfort in my own body, and helped me to create the awareness that I needed to make some significant changes to the way I was living my life. So it's been extremely beneficial in supporting me over the last 10 years, and will continue to do so, I would imagine, forever, for the rest of my life.
And I would say about we were having a chat about this before, that with your classes, like, often people are always surprised when they come that they don't have to be super bendy, super strong, super anything. They can come in with all the worries and fears that you might have starting something new, and everybody leaves feeling worked out, but also feeling like they achieved something.
Yeah, well, that's really nice to hear, and I'm glad that comes across, because that's what I try and aim to do in my classes. I don't want people to feel like they are not welcome, or that they've, if they've got a certain body type or certain capabilities or incapabilities, that they can't get something from the practice. Because even if you just show up to class, and even if you're just tired on the day and you're not actually moving, but you're just being present and being with your breath, that is still something, and that is still part of the practice. It's not always physical, and quite often, especially with social media, we get the wrong idea a lot of the time of what the practice is always about, but the physical was it's the first thing, it's the easiest thing to kind of access within the practice. That's why it's the most popular, I would imagine. Yeah.
And before I did my teacher training, actually, I really did not understand fully, even though I touched on pranayama and meditation and the way of living life through loads of different other kind of avenues. I didn't understand fully how little the kind of the asana practice, that the posture, the actual physical kind of fitness class was about yoga. And I don't think you need to understand it to feel the benefits, but it's really nice to go a bit deeper and understand that there's a whole very ancient world that you are tapping into just by showing up on your mat. So I couldn't agree more. It's there's a lot to learn and a lot to kind of explore and experience, that go just beyond the yoga class. That we know in the gyms and all that kind of stuff. So that'll and that'll be nice to see. I think on the retreat that we're doing, that's going to come quite nicely into what you're introducing about the nervous system and the vagus nerve, but actually through yoga there's going to be a practice where you experience that.
Yes, it's quite interesting because a lot of what yoga has been teaching us and allowing us to do, especially within the body, it relaxes our nervous system. And the ancient yogis, they knew this anyway, whether or not they knew it, but it happened. That's what was happening in the body. But now science is kind of catching up, so we can make these links and this correlation between all of this stuff, and I find it absolutely fascinating. I'm a right geek on it, obviously. So that's kind of what we're going to do in the retreat. I'm going to give a brief talk about the nervous system, the stress system, very simple so that everyone can understand it. And then we're going to put it into practice, and you can feel it for yourself, hopefully. that will have the effect on your body, and you'll be calming your nervous system down and just feeling more relaxed.
And I mean, actually you've just tied in really nicely with breath work and breath training, pranayama. So I'm an Oxygen Advantage functional breath instructor, and there's a lot of science. It's run by Patrick McEwen, who is awesome. But one thing that he always says on the course is that, it's that you've got yogis everywhere just being like, this stuff has been taught for 5,000 years. And it's just because science is catching up that we now listen to it and we go, oh, it means something then. And I just think that science is important. It gives us an understanding or a way to question things, but there is nothing quite like feeling and experiencing. And when so many people find power in the breath, find power in movement, find power in coming together, we're always looking to explain it. But if you right now were to slow your breathing down and through your nose and deep into your belly for a count of 4 or 5 in, 5 or 6 out, within 4 minutes you would feel a complete difference in your entire being. Do you 100%? I mean, the science is wonderful to explain, but you don't need the science to say that is real. And that's why, again, I'm enjoying working with you, because there's enough knowledge that can come through, but not enough that goes, this is too much. You just feel it, understand it, feel it, understand it, feel it, and then do your own kind of exploring.
Exactly. I agree. So let's talk about some other stuff that's going to happen on the retreat day then. Let's talk about sound, shall we? Sound.
Where do I... So I jump in a bit to sound, so I'm going to try and rein it in. So sound baths, which you'll be receiving on the retreat. Sound is such a great way to kind of just settle into your body, to relax, to bring up maybe some frustrations or some, stuck energy. Sound, I will talk about this, and those of you who come to our sound bath sessions will probably be sick of hearing about the bubble rather than the sound wave, but we think of sound as a wave, so it comes out this singular thing, but sound is a bubble. It travels at just under 800 miles per hour in this giant bubble, and it affects every part of our body. So sound is vibration, and it's hitting us, and then our cells, our atoms are going to be vibrating, matching it, and we're going to be changing our body state physically. You can definitely tap into that beautiful vagus nerve, and you can definitely feel a sense of relaxation, and often a lot of pain and kind of physical ailments can be reduced. Maybe not forever, maybe it just for that sound bath, maybe going forwards, but sound is just a beautiful way to kind of be and experience and learn where you're at right now. Some people will come and just purely relax, fully relax. And then I do get sometimes people go, oh, there's about 10 minutes, 15 minutes where I couldn't be still and I just felt so angry and so annoyed. And I'm like, great, let me know how you feel tomorrow. And they're best night's sleep, or they feel, you know, just wow, like something shifted, something let go. And I first came into sound because I heard the gongs, and I heard the gongs playing while my eyes were closed, and I thought someone was playing music. I did not understand how this music was traveling all around me, and it sounded like spaceships and aeroplanes, and it was so imagine like a dream coming outside of you. It was like that, and it just instantly, the power it had to shift my entire being was amazing. So then I just
there you go.
Yeah.
The rest is history, as they say.
Yeah. And again, I'm trying not to jump and be all sciencey today, but you know, it does have such a beautiful effect on the body.
Yeah.
You know, producing more red blood cells and just helping oxygen get into us.
And you don't have to do anything. You just lie there and experience, which is another beautiful thing about it. You know,
Yeah.
like there's no effort involved. Like what you were saying earlier when you were at the gym and it was all go, more. It's like these types of holistic practices are the opposite of that. It's all about stopping, finding stillness, just being, and finding acceptance with whatever comes up as well. Because you know, it's like it might not necessarily always be really lovely, you know. There might be some challenges or some difficulty or some feeling of you know, angst in the body, but it's about holding space for it, you know.
And sound baths and pranayama are so often compared now with plant medicines and psychedelics in terms of the effect being similar to something very extreme. Like that people who experiment with those talk about huge shifts and huge realizations. But, you know, when people come to a sound bath, they talk, oh, I saw these colours, I saw these visions, I saw this, I felt like I had someone around me, like, you know, just, it's this kind of beautiful way of, and you're in a room with, you know, maybe a bunch of strangers, and that room will never be the same again because nobody is vibrating the same. Everyone is unique on that day. And you've just got so much power, and then tuning in with the breath or being guided through nidra. You're just tapping into these systems in your body differently and exploring, you know, the world that is within us and without us that we know about, but we don't know about, you know. Need to get to know. So,
all right. Now I've got one question for you, because I know some people have expressed some concerns about the cold water, and it may be that they're feeling a little bit nervous, or that the cold water might be stopping them from potentially getting the benefit of this day. So,
and they don't like the cold.
Yes.
Or being cold.
So what would you say to somebody who expressed this concern and was thinking about not coming because of the cold part of this day?
Yeah. So I mean, this is very common. So we, you know, you often get our cold lovers going, oh, yoga, that's going to be hard, and then our yoga lovers going, cold, no. First of all, everything is optional. You should not get into cold water if you do not want to. And by the way, you'll never want to, but I mean, it's like the overriding force of going, I don't want to, but I will. Everything is optional. And there's also variations you can do. You can either just support others, or there's a tub for hands and feet, and there's different benefits there. But if you are the kind of person that goes, I don't want to get into cold water, good, because that means that you're showing very healthy signs of being human. If you're the kind of person that can just walk in, I feel nothing, either go get yourself checked out or give me the secret, because every single time I get into the cold, there's resistance. I am just now trained enough that I know how to override that resistance, and instead of spending 10 minutes going, oh, I don't want to, you know, save yourself that kind of suffering and do it. So the cold is it's the one way you can completely take control of your system, like your whole bodily systems, in like 1 second. You are in the present moment, connecting with the breath, professionally guided the whole way through, so you're not left on your own. And you'll never experience, again, every experience is unique, but you'll never experience something so sudden and so powerful as being in an ice bath.
Can you tell me a little bit about this professional guidance? Like, how does it actually work?
How does professional? Yeah.
Do you know what I mean though? Because like actually in the bath, and where is the person, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like...
So I mean, first of all, you'll have somebody with you the whole time that you're in. You won't just be left kind of loads of you in water. You'll have someone with you the whole time, giving you either the closeness or the space that you need to get through. You'll be set up perfectly. Our whole day will set you up to want to master challenges and like feel the empowerment, and also feel ready to take on something that we meet resistance to.
Because our cold is the last part of the
day.
Yeah,
It is the last part of the day, and you get out and you're going to feel so buzzing. Like getting in is horrible, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do it, but you get such a rush of beautiful chemicals in the body that you come out and you just feel like you've won the lottery. You completely own the world, and you're in a state where you're not entering. We're not going hop in, screaming. And some people do scream, and that's welcomed and that's lovely. But you're not in a state where it's just go for it. You are stepping in, you're stepping down, and you're embracing it. And you have that motivation in your ear the whole time. Whether that's just we're here, we're watching you, take your space, or whether that's the whole time reminding you of your why, of what you're doing, getting in there. And you can get out as early as you want. Really, no one's forcing you in, no one's keeping you in, holding you under. You know, what was your I mean, I know the story, so I'm just making you say it. What was your first ice bath experience?
My first ice bath experience, if you've followed me on social media for a while, then you may have seen the video, because it was on there. I don't know whether it still is, but my experience,
Brilliant.
yeah. I stoked myself up. I was very, very nervous indeed. I hate the cold. Can't stand it. I'm the kind of person, I've still got my heating on several times a day now. And yeah, I know. And so what it gave me, it was the most obvious switch of my nervous system into a state of relaxation I've ever experienced in my life. And, you know, if you watch the video, you can actually see my face go, there it is, you know, and literally just everything changed in that moment. And then there was just this space, just nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
It was lovely.
Yeah. You cannot be anywhere else.
No, you can't.
And the most wonderful thing is that something that can feel quite extreme at first suddenly becomes the safest, calmest place that you've ever found on earth. And that's why I say, in terms of guidance, sometimes it is just us shutting up and just letting you know that someone's there and looking after you, because there's just nothing when you find that moment and you calm your body down. Oh yeah,
it's wonderful to experience.
It's wonderful. It's you know, you don't get anything bad from it unless you stay in too long, and you've got, you know, we'll warm you up after. We'll have you leaving in a beautiful warm state again, and you'll honestly feel like you've achieved something just so huge. There is no other feeling like it. And again, being able to be present in your body through the yoga, guided in the meditation and nidra and the sound bath, you know, you've got all of this wonderful energy moving through you, and then getting a lovely scrummy lunch that is going to be made by our Ayurvedic lifestyle advisor. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So it's going to be made with, you know, kind of an Ayurvedic approach. So what does that do, actually, before I explain it?
So the lunch will just be a very easily digestible vegan lunch. So it's just going to be a moong dal, which is really cleansing and good for the digestion. Just very, very simple food. Simple, wholesome, warm food.
And you know, you've just touched on another thing there I think is really important. Simple.
Yeah.
So like the whole day is about, even though there'll be some really good things to learn and to give you a little bit of understanding of what you're entering into, mostly so that your intention of doing it can change and be more present. That is it, a nice simple day.
Yeah.
Even the cold, if you choose to do it, the cold is simple. There is nothing more simple in stripping you back to just that. So yeah, it is going to be a good day. And these are all practices, other than sometimes your resistance to the cold, just sometimes, and the heating on. But you know, these are practices we do.
Yes.
And also that we struggle with. It's just because
100%. I mean, my mental health is I've struggled with it a lot over the years, and a lot of these things which I'll be talking about and which I've learned about are things which have really supported me throughout these times. So they are tried and tested,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what, actually, as well, because by the way, like, obviously there's some great things happening in the day and it's very exciting. But getting together in a group of people that maybe you don't know all of them to start with, when you go through I can't say that word. I'm going to get in trouble.
You can say it, it's fine.
But when you go through processes that transform your way of thinking or transform your way of looking at things.
Let's use the word shift.
Shift. I like that, actually. But you gain connections that even if you were to never speak to those people again, you would still be bonded. There would still be a connection and understanding of other people, that they feel the same as you, they have the same emotions, the same problems, that we are all the same. And that connection is what we are so desperately lacking.
So let's talk about connection.
Okay.
How did we come to meet and work together? Because so
we were working at the same place, all brought together like perfectly by the universe. And I came to your class, actually.
You did.
And there was just a glorious conversation happening that was a bit wacky. And I was like, maybe we might get on. So I'd creep up after class just to kind of, carry on chatting a bit. And then that was it. We were kind of like just ideas, talk. I think it was the first time we had a conversation we said we should work together.
Yes, pretty much, I think.
And normally that doesn't happen. You say it and it doesn't happen. And now, our events that we run together are just more and more in sync, I think.
Yeah, I think we're very much in tune with each other, and we kind of come from the same aspect when it comes to yoga and all of and health as well, you know, and our worldviews, perhaps even on society, are very similar. So
won't jump down those rabbit
holes.
holes.
No politics today. But we're very much in tune with each other, I think, which is really useful for our...
And I think with our experiences, the things that we've had to overcome and face make us, we can like consider that in other people and understand that in other people, and like we aren't those kind of, I don't want to like describe people because I think they're brilliant. Like we're a little bit more blunt and hard hitting, I think, sometimes in our approach. And that's great because sometimes that's what you need, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want to go to like, I've got friends that facilitate like beautiful spaces, and you'll go in and you'll just feel hugged and loved and cuddled the whole day, and I couldn't need that more most of the time. But we do have an approach that's similar and that kind of flows and works with compassion, but with a very way of looking at how to apply this in your life. And the world goes on outside these retreats. The world goes on outside a sound bath and yoga, and that it isn't possible to float down the road and in lotus pose and namaste everyone.
I know, I think it's about acknowledging the darkness as well as the light, right? Because they have to coexist. We have to have this polarity, otherwise, it's just bypassing, isn't it, really? And, states change, they fluctuate. We're never in one state feeling the same thing forever. That's not how the human experience works.
Exactly. And I think so, like, again, if you're interested in finding any more about what we do, or nervous about anything, just come and have a chat with us. We're always open to it. It's good. The questions make us think a bit more deeply as well, so never be afraid to...
I like questions.
Approach us. She loves a question. I like questions, but she loves a question. But I do have a question now, because anybody that does catch up on this, right? Your name, right?
Here we go.
Your name. I'm going to throw you under the bus right now. So, pronounce your name for us.
Well, it's a bit of a funny thing because...
Such a weird thing to do on the live. Pronounce your name.
Yeah, I would pronounce it Sayeeda. My dad would have said Sayeeda, or I'm not going to do his Indian accent. Maybe I should. Who knows?
Oh, go on.
Sayeeda. If he was shouting me down the stairs, right? It's a funny thing. I would say my name is pronounced Sayeeda.
Sayeeda. But there is it's not, because you've got Sayeeda Yoga, and Sayeeda for Sayeeda Yoga is a little bit more Sayeeda.
It is.
But when you're saying Sayeeda, there's a A in there, just
It
very
is
quickly pronounced.
Very quickly pronounced, yeah. But the spelling is what's important because
Yeah.
because my my birth name is spelt Sayeeda.
Yeah.
The business name is Sada.
Yeah. And that's the closest to pronouncing your name as well. But it's
You would think.
you're, yes. But you've also encountered Sade, cider. I think I'm gonna start with Shelley or something like that, just to throw one in the mix.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. But I do think that what's interesting about addressing this is that sometimes we have to guess how to pronounce someone's name. And that is scary. And then people avoid it, or they just go for it thinking, oh, I hope I get it right. And then we sometimes go, I don't know how to correct you now. I mean, I get called Rebecca non-stop, right? And always have done. And actually other Rebeccas I know get called Rachel. It's like an interesting thing. But, again, other than the AEL spelling that sometimes comes up, that's it. But with you just have an array of people kind of going, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I mean, even when I was a kid, I got quite frustrated with teachers at school getting it wrong, that I ended up being known as Sadie for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Until I went to university, I think, and then just started introducing myself as my proper
new
name
identity.
again. So some people actually in this town will still call me Sadie.
So anybody now thinking, oh my goodness, what have I been saying? What to do? It's
cool.
okay.
It's fine. It's fine. I've lived with this my whole life.
And if you're stuck, and if you think, oh, I'm just going to say hello, miss, from now on, ask the question.
Yes.
Just ask the question.
There is no shame in it.
Yeah,
There is absolutely no shame in it. And I think, because obviously my name is not English. This is the thing. It's an Arabic name. I'm half Indian.
There are different ways to say it as well.
Different ways to say it and to spell it. So I get it. It's not like our normal... It's not in normal English language, so I understand. But just ask if you're unsure. And I can guarantee the person, and not just myself, will respect you more for asking.
Yeah, I actually need to do that more because I get name phobia. I always think I've forgotten someone's name or I've remembered it wrong and then I'm going to call them the wrong name and then...
See, and I have zero name phobia, and I'll literally ask somebody 20 times, sorry, I've forgotten your name again. Could you just tell me? Because,
Yeah, but that's it. So name is our kind of our identity. It's our label of our being, isn't it? So,
it is. Well, yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, good. We've clarified that. We'll probably make a whole video on saying your name. And if you do have a variation that you prefer, let us know. Maybe we'll vote and change it.
And don't worry if you've gotten it wrong before. You don't need to message me and apologise.
No, Mr. Zendevers absolutely has no idea of how to... Well, he learned the other day, actually. But he came up... He said it... What did he say? Saida or something like that.
I don't think he got it wrong.
No, he said Sayeeda. If he's watching, I'm going to get in trouble now. But then I was like, no, you go and learn the right pronunciation. And he came back up and I can't remember what he said, but he was like, it's this. And I was like, no, it's still not right. But even I'm like, Sayeeda. Like, which one do I say? And But yeah, there we go. But right, so day retreat, June the 22nd.
22nd of June.
And it's pretty much a full day, 10:30 to 4:30. So he's just said, no, I didn't get it wrong. You got it wrong, pal. But he went and he tried, it was great. But yeah, June the 22nd, it's in Wick St Lawrence. It's in a lovely space, just nothing else around us but fields and greenery. And if it rains, it sounds lovely. And if it's sunny, it's beautiful. And you'll be fed, snacked and... Nourished. And your nervous system will just be thankful for you to give yourself the space and time to have something for you. Come along, men, women, men, like you're completely both welcome. It's not just... you get a lot of women coming to these things. I don't know, we're just kind of... Apparently, even with the cold, we just embrace it a little bit more. Maybe that's the pain threshold.
Maybe.
Lots of people argue with me there. You're going to put the link to...
I've just popped it in the comments.
Yep, to register your interest. We only have a set amount of spaces on this one because it's a smaller space. So, any questions, get in touch.
Yeah, just let us know and we're happy because we love those questions, remember?
And don't fear the cold. The cold is your warm friend.
Exactly.
If anyone follows Wim Hof, he will say that over and over again. So, I think from us,
That's it.
We now have to get off Instagram and Facebook
Facebook at
and
the
make
same
it look cool. So we'll
Let's
be like,
just-
oh,
Are we off one yet? Are we done?
yeah, we'll come off Facebook first and then just, oh.
I don't even know how to end this.
But thank you for joining and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm just going to keep styling it.
All right, I figured out where there's the button. Bye.